Hello. Rather than waffling on annotations in my sketchbook, I thought I would just talk to whoever is marking this. Hello. And just talk about my thought process behind this project, at least the sketchbook. So yeah. So I interpreted Cabinet of Curiosities a bit more whimsical. So I sort of thought about supernatural side. Guillermo del Toro, if that's how you say his name, came up, and recently I saw the Pinocchio movie, and I was really inspired by that, and very sort of it's very political, but also very rooted in children's storytelling and all that. And so I thought I'll take that as a jumping off point. So I've got supernatural zine, and I just thought about things that I wanted to do. Um, and if well, it's the same person, so you probably will see my print work as well. I'm in a very cat-centric mood at the moment, and so my brain immediately went to cats. And because I'm motivated a lot uh, activism, especially climate activism, I started to think about what could happen in the future. What's a message which is perhaps not so on the nose with climate activism and things like that. And so I thought, what if the world ended? And I thought cats are always so lazy, or stereotypically so lazy. And I thought, well, what if they just didn't bother to die? What would happen next? And that's where the core idea for this came from. What would happen next after we're all gone and cats just didn't bother to die? So that's the jumping off point. I started with just some crude sketches. You'll see a lot of these, Mother Nature reinterpreted as a cat. I don't know what that is. I think it's someone playing a, yeah, no, it's like, a Beatles type character playing things. I mean, they're all pretty self-explanatory. That's a turtle one there. Yes, and so this is when I started thinking about mutated cats, and so I sort of nailed down the theme of mutated cats, and I wanted to think, what could be in this other world? What would they take inspirations from? What would they do better? What would they do worse at? Here I'm thinking more about, this is specifically inspired by sort of 1920s, 30s posters, in a cocktail, like what, I can't remember what it's called now, not Art Deco, but you're a teacher. But yeah, these are all ideas, thinking about that. Lewis Wayne as well, someone who I did a lot of work on in my print work. He's a massive inspiration at the moment for me. I just love everything he does. So yeah, these are just some underwater cats. That was inspired by one of my prompts I'd come from. Seahorse again, more of a bear, this one. Don't know what that one was. I think that's sort of the moon coming crashing to Earth, but it's a cat, which is a very strange Legend of Zelda reference, if you get that. But yeah, I thought about sort of more physically mutated, like radiation. What could happen to a cat we already know that would affect it? This here, I actually drew the globe cat. This is what inspired me for the front cover of the book that you're going to see. Got a clown cat with a big old balloon tail. Prehistoric cats. This is me sort of workshopping the name. Well, I say workshopping the name, it's one sentence, but that's where I got it from. Some more sort of prehistoric inspired cats. A judge cat. That was cat democracy, if that's such a thing. A sheep cat, which I'm very annoyed I didn't actually do, because I really like that. I just forgot it existed. Same with this one here, Dr. Schrodinger. Turns a cat into a cloud. And this is the first evidence of sort of, I started thinking more about the children's book element towards it, and I thought, what if it's a rhyming bit Dr. Seuss, green eggs and ham. And I thought, the practice, what would I write? The practice of science was still around. Dr. Schrodinger's turned this cat into a cloud. There you go. That's some pretty amazing writing there. That one, this guy is terrifying. I tried to include him in, but it doesn't really translate a drawing, especially the style I went from, inspired by the artist that you saw earlier. Um, something like this, it's too simple, I couldn't get it to work. Yeah, this is when I started getting more sort of heavy into it. I really wanted like a style to like start at. Thinking about, you know, the literary side of it. And I always loved those drawings of biblically accurate cats, or not cats, biblically accurate angels, because they're so ridiculous when you think about it. So yeah, I thought I'd make one to a cat. Got more prehistoric cats here. I was running into that for some reason. Don't know what that is, but you know. Oh, actually, all of these cats here, they're all inspired by my friend Jazz and their new kitten. So thanks, Jazz, for that. There's a great picture of Jazz's cat in a hot sauce box, and I thought that's pretty cool. Where can I go with that? This is me just sort of trying to bang out as many pictures of cats, sort of searching for inspiration. What was I thinking about here? Oh, that was the notes from something else. And I thought Henry VIII, cat history, Henry VIII. And I thought 9 lives, sounds a lot like 6 wives. So what if you had Henry VIII or some sort of cat pun, which I haven't thought of yet. But it's cats. It's Henry VIII and his 9 wives rather than lives. So this is me sketching out 9 wives. They're all inspired. Well, they're all pretty much copies. Well, no, they're inspired by medieval paintings and royalty paintings. This one's an actual drawing of a cat, which someone in the medieval era drew. And yeah, if you look up medieval cat, that's what will come up, and it's quite funny to look at. So I'd advise you to do that. That's inspired by the famous painting of, is it Queen Elizabeth I, I think, with her hand on the earth, which was quite convenient because I had already made that asset in Photoshop at that point. But then I changed it to Yon, and then I've got other drawings here and there. So after sketching all these things out, or I suppose during that time, I was playing around with the more blocky inspirations that I had from the artists I analysed at the beginning. I really like the sort of very blocky effect here. This was the first thing I made actually, and it was using my drawings as a prompt. In fact, do I have it here? I do. Oh wait, no, I don't. But I really like that really jagged, sharp edges, because I'd never seen I've never seen a cat depicted. Well, I've seen similar things, especially from my inspirations on Pinterest, but nothing like this. This one here was a big inspiration, especially for that mutated, elongated one like that. But I really like the really harsh lines. I thought it looked really cool. And so I incorporated it here. The digital drawings are very, very similar to the drawings I did in my sketchbook. I did a bit more of a flame here. I had this whole concept that this cat had created a hot sauce business. I didn't actually end up using this, but kind of wish I did. It's quite cool. And yeah, I decided, well, I didn't decide. I worked out that I had made way too many. So I decided to make the 9 wives bit more of a feature. I saw a video of someone making a zine, and I saw that there's all this blank space on the other side, and I thought, what if you could pull it out and you sort of got a poster, which, it doubles as a zine and a poster, but also a massive page. And considering all these, that this would all get very lost, all these characters here, in a traditional, well, in the size that I'd, A5 size. So I thought, why not make it its own thing? So after that, I took it onto Photoshop, and I gave everything more texture using royalty-free textures. This is probably the best example. You can sort of see them the most, but they're on every single one. This is one as well. I'll get to this in a second. But yes, this is a new edition. I didn't draw this in my sketchbook. This was just solely on hand. It's inspired by this one picture of a cat, which is sort of shocked, but I thought it kind of looked like it'd been, you know, mutating or changing or something like that. It looks very sort of supernatural, this picture of a cat. So yeah, the only other edition which was not in sketchbook is this one here. I thought about celebrities and I thought about cats going viral all the time. And so I decided to recreate, actually, I haven't got a picture of it, but I will get it now. I decided to recreate this image here, which, oh wait, no, that's not it, that's something completely different. But it's the iconic photo of Paris Hilton, Britney Spears and Lindsay Lohan in a car, and I thought about celebrities, and I thought cats really love going viral on the internet, so, you know, what's stopping them from, you know, doing it once we're gone? So yeah, and then after that, or during that even, I started writing the poems. I'm not a very good poet, as I found, and I'm also very dyslexic, so I don't know why I chose to do this, but I did. And I just started writing about, you know, rhymes. It's surprisingly hard to rhyme things, I found. But yeah, inspired by the images, I came up with ideas. And yeah, I wrote a little poem. Hope you like it. And so then I brought that all into Illustrator in the end, not Illustrator, InDesign, and just try to block it in. I really love this font, and yeah. So after that, it was time to print it all off, and here are the two prototypes I have in front of me. I learnt two things about my designs. Number one, don't print on card because that gets really thick really quick and it's really hard to bend and make it look clean. So I went for this one. And number two, actually three things. Number two, some of the textures are a bit too low quality and there's a bit of, it just does not look quite right around here and here and here. So I have to edit those textures. Well, not had to, I have edited those textures. And number three, my printer is not suitable for this. So I'm gonna have to print out the one which you're hopefully having beside you or looking at right now in uni. And yeah, and here's the other one. And I think they work pretty well. I'm quite happy with the text size. That's something I was very conscious about. I also didn't want to use a very fancy font. I didn't want to lose readability. So I used a serif font to keep that readability in. The only thing I'm slightly upset about is the fact that I spent a long time putting in a load of textures and you can barely see any of them really. You can sort of see them in the large patches, but they're everywhere. But they just kind of don't really look like they are. So yeah.